Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and this week with BEMP we're going to be learning about seed adaptations and how different plants grow different seeds and have different seeds that help them spread by floating in the air or moving through water or by being eaten and then pooped out by another animal, and that's how they actually spread and get somewhere else, and how they actually move through an ecosystem and are able to grow. So this activity will actually have us looking at some different types of seeds and also creating our own seeds with different adaptations or those structures that help it do a certain thing. And then looking at the last part of our activity is actually going to be looking at real scientific data collected by community scientists at a local national wildlife refuge, and what we can learn from how they study those seeds and the fruit and what that can tell the managers at the refuge. So if you're interested in that, let's get started. All right, so I found this dandelion. You can see on there, it already actually has one of those seeds hanging down, but we can pop those off and you see how it has that really special adaptation with these kind of little fluffy bits, which are what help it actually float or fly away, which is why when you pull on a dandelion, we'll see if I can do this. Yeah, I also found some elm fruit. So this is what the fruit of a Siberian elm looks like. You can see this kind of papery ring around it. And then in the middle where it's really densely white, that is actually the seed right there in the middle. And so by having that seed in this fruit, we can actually pick it up, maybe, if I can do that, but you can kind of see how it's so papery and light right there. And then when we drop it, it doesn't go too slow, but it went slower. So from all of those fruit that we just looked at with their seeds, how do you think that those seeds actually spread around? We saw some that were floating. So why do they have that adaptation and how do they spread? Some that had nice fleshy kind of yummy outsides. How do those ones spread? And did we see anything else? Those were the main ones. But looking at those pictures of the different fruit and seeds on your handout, you can really start to think about how they move through air, or by being carried in animals' fur, or by being eaten. And next we're going to be looking at creating our own seeds and our own adaptations of how they spread. First, find something to represent your seed. Here, I'm actually just using some dried pinto beans that I have. Then you're also gonna want some materials, like I have this napkin, some cardboard, some tape. I'm gonna have some of my animals that I might be trying to help spread the seeds around. So let's take a look and see. All right, now we're gonna test our different adaptations. So here's just my seed all by itself, which can spread in different ways, but we'll see kind of how it falls or floats or what happens to it. All right, that one pretty much just fell pretty fast onto the ground. Let's try some different adaptations. So here's one you can see. I put a little bit of cardboard so it's kind of thicker. I taped it on and it's kind of big but not huge. So I'm gonna put it like this and see if it floats. A little better. And for this one, look, I have this seed in the middle of my big napkin, kind of this big papery part, sort of like that Siberian elm seed. And let's see what happens with that one. Oh, interesting. So on this one, there's some more supplies I didn't show you before. I actually was able to find some Velcro, and I stuck that and the sticky side onto my seed. And let's say the seed fell from the parent plant, it's in the bosque, and along comes one of the mammals that lives in the bosque. Not this one, but you can imagine, and steps along and keeps on moving and carries that seed far away until it falls off. Now that we've seen some different type of seeds, either ones that you found outside or that you saw in this video, and then also have made our own seeds with different adaptations to disperse, we can now actually look at data that was collected by students and volunteers that work with BEMP at Valle de Oro National Wildlife Refuge, which is the first urban national wildlife refuge in the Southwest, and it is just about 10 minutes south of Albuquerque. So this is in our Take It to the Next Level, the second part of the activity. So the graph is here, and what you can see on this graph is it shows when they're ripe fruit, which means that they have their seeds ready, and when they were seen on cottonwoods or Siberian elms in 2019. So you might remember that in the video earlier, I showed you both of these types of seeds. One had just floated into my yard, it floated in the air, and the other one I found next door to my house, but it also kind of floats down a little bit. So both of these move through the air, and that's how they spread. So Valle de Oro National Wildlife Refuge cares about this data because they are trying to restore or bring back some of the ecosystems and habitats that historically were at around the Rio Grande before humans changed them a lot. So to do this, they want to encourage the native cottonwood trees, so trees that have been in New Mexico for a long time, and limit the growth of the elms, trees that are more that are from somewhere else and haven't been in New Mexico for as long. So just as a really quick overview of this graph, it shows when those trees, either the cottonwoods or elms, have ripe fruit or seeds throughout the year. So starting in January, moving throughout the year, as we can see from one month to the next. So by looking at these two curves, the two lines on our graph, you can see that one of the trees has ripe fruit, their seeds ready to go, almost a month earlier than the other one. Which is which? If you were a manager or a biologist at Valle de Oro, when would you want to water the refuge? When would you want to put water to help the seeds grow of the cottonwoods instead of the elms? What months would be best for that? While you work through the questions on this sheet, really think about how the data helps impact or helps inform how decisions are made. I hope you've had fun learning about seeds and different adaptations, and you can always learn more. Please let us know if you have any questions, or show us what you found, show us what you learned about, show us pictures of the seeds you made, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.